there, this is Courtney Henderson. I'm the digital editor for FamilyTreeMagazine.com, and today I wanted to walk everyone through a presentation about Melungeons. And has anyone else been saying Melungians? You're not the only one. So it's Melungeon, and this is a really great topic. It's a really popular topic. So I thought I would go over just in general, sort of a little bit of the history, and then sort of how genealogists can research their own possible Melungeon heritage. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this gentleman's name is Arch Goins. So there's a little hint, if your last name is Goins, you may have Melungeon heritage. He and his family were from Tennessee. And when you think about settlers from Tennessee, you think about English, Irish, right? Clearly does not look either English or Irish. And it's interesting because my family is from Eastern Kentucky, where many Melungeons are. And lots of my family, we have some redheads, we have blonde hair, blue eyes, English through and through. But I do have a couple of relatives who a little bit more olive skinned, different shaped eyes, dark hair. And I grew up actually hearing the term Melungeon because my family, my mom's side, always sort of suspected maybe they had some Melungeon heritage. Well, no, turns out that I got my DNA done and I was the first one because doing what I do. And no, 7% Italian. So lots of English, some Scandinavian, little touch of Italian. So that's a mystery to everyone. We don't know where that comes from, but unfortunately, no Melungeons, no great melting pot of ethnicity estimates that I was hoping for, but oh well. So who are the Melungeons? Big question, right? So it's sort of an all-encompassing term of people of mixed ethnicity. So some Portuguese, Turkish, Moorish, Arabic, Jewish, American Indian, African descent. No one's really quite sure. And it also sort of depends on the pocket of the Eastern United States where your family comes from. It also depends a lot about that. And we'll get into that just a little bit more. Okay, Melungeon. Where did that term come from? Kind of a weird word, right? So researchers don't know. It may be a French word, it may be a Spanish word, it may be Turkish, Arabic. It seems like, just based on sort of the definitions from the Turkish and the Arabic, of course, kind of a derogatory term that people have now just embraced. And that happens a lot. I know, I think I was researching about the red bones in Louisiana. Sort of started out as a derogatory term. Now they're like, yeah, we're red bones, proud of it. So I love it. I love when that happens. And I think too, when you read the article that this slideshow is based on FamilyTreeMagazine.com, there's a woman that was interviewed that found some Melungeon heritage, and she makes this statement about these people during their time were trying, not all of them, but a lot of them were trying hard to hide it. And now, as genealogists, several generations later, we're desperately trying to prove it. So I love those stories. I think that that's part of genealogy, right? We are able to take ancestors that didn't have a voice or didn't have the same sorts of opportunities and telling their story, at least, right? And shining some light on their story. And I think that that's great. Okay, where did the Melungeons come from? Again, the million-dollar question. Still being debated, just a big question mark all the way around. There's all kinds of stories, everything from the lost colony of Roanoke, a Welsh explorer. But again, it just seems to be an all-encompassing term for mixed race people within sort of this Eastern United States area. So where exactly did those people settle and live? So typically Eastern Kentucky, like I was telling you about, Southwestern Virginia, Eastern Tennessee, Southern West Virginia. But according to the Melungeon Heritage Association, there were several sort of these pockets of mixed race ancestry populations throughout the eastern United States. And they include what were known as the Carmel Indians of Southern Ohio, Brown people of Kentucky, Guineas of West Virginia, Wesorts of Maryland, Nanticoke Moors of Delaware, Cubans and Portuguese of North Carolina, Turks and Brass Ankles of South Carolina, and the Creoles and Redbones of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And in the video description here, I have links for more information about all of these different little pockets of Melungeons. And you can check that out. Okay, another big question. Are you a Melungeon? Okay, so here are a few tips to kind of get you started. Melungeons typically have very specific physical characteristics, dark hair and light colored eyes, stark contrast in skin and hair color within a single family. And that's like what I was telling you about, why my family thought maybe there were some Melungeons in our heritage, because within the same family, you have my mother, blonde hair, blue eyes, her sister, darker hair, darker eyes. So that, you know, if it's just within one family, it's sort of can be a telling characteristic. Some American Indian features, and then you've probably heard, if you're interested in researching Melungeons, this Melungeon bump. Supposedly that is a telltale characteristic, and that is a little bump at the back of the head. So your last name is a telling feature, and this is a list from FamilySearch.org about some different Melungeon last names that may or may not point you in the right direction of whether or not you have Melungeon heritage. And then lastly, census records. So if you're looking at census records and in your family you notice someone's listed as a free person of color, black, mulatto, that may be also a key that you have some Melungeons in your family. Okay, if you suspect a Melungeon family connection, this is just a super brief tip about how you can go about researching that. I really encourage you to get on FamilyTreeMagazine.com and dive into some more of our articles. The first tip is to work backward and start with some birth certificates and then kind of go from there. Obviously, you know, research online, type in the word Melungeon, you're going to come across all sorts of resources. And because it's become such a popular topic, things are changing every day. People are publishing more articles about it. So you should really be in a good position to start researching your Melungeon ancestors. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please head to FamilyTreeMagazine.com if you want to dive in more to your heritage. Please take a second and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be sure to check out our other genealogy videos. Thanks so much.